Hi everyone, Brian Hall here, and I just wanted to give you a heads up that for the last 15-ish minutes of this episode, we had a technical issue with the microphone. So Zachy's going to sound a tad different, and you're going to hear a bit more room tone than you're used to. That said, the rest of the episode sounds like the grade A premium movie film podcast quality you've come to know and love. So with that out of the way, enjoy the episode.
Welcome friends, it's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about the movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio. Welcome to Movie Film. This is episode 181, brought to you by Mr. Boy Productions. My name is Zachy Hassan. It is Saturday morning, and I am here sitting in my closet recording with Brian Hall.
Hey, well, good morning. How is everything in there? Is there any spring cleaning needing to be done, or?
I may come out of the closet at some point later today, but not until I'm doing what I need to do.
Yeah. Which you have mentioned before, but that is your studio.
It's of necessity.
Yes.
It is my studio / hideaway in case of zombie apocalypse.
Right. It sounds great. So
yeah, I mean,
it's working.
I was, if I'm right now, I'm cocooned in my walk-in closet, and if I were to just step outside, my kids, they have the Amazon Echo, and they're just blasting like 80s music while they're
really,
yeah, they love 80s music, so I feel like I've trained them well.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Which makes sense because when I was growing up, I was listening to oldies.
Okay,
because that's what my parents were listening to. So it's about like the 30-year divide, right?
I guess so.
Huh.
Well, it's come on, let's be honest. It's the good stuff.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, what you grow up with is what you love, and then it's fun when your kids love it too.
It's a good feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of a good feeling, last night, Brian, I went and watched a live recording of one of my favorite podcasts. How did this get made?
I can't wait to hear about this. I'm a regular listener. Wow, that was weird. I almost gave up on that last word. That just stopped in the middle. I'm a regular listener to that podcast, and I have always wanted to see it live because the energy just sounds so tangible, even in the recording. So, tell me about it.
Well, so for those of you who don't know of that show, which I feel like if you listen to this show, you would have to know about How Did This Get Made,
Yeah.
They're just they play at such a higher level. But it was a show that began, like 6-7 years ago, and the intent is let's take a quote unquote bad movie and watch it, and we will poke fun of it, but we'll also point out what works. And I think that dynamic is actually what makes the show stand apart from. I feel like there's a whole subgenre of movie podcasts on the internet that are about let's just shit on bad movies.
Right.
And it gets old after a while.
Yeah. And then these guys, sometimes they'll be in disbelief at a film, but sometimes they'll watch something that's bad and love it.
Exactly.
The last one I listened to was the Katherine Heigl movie Unforgettable.
Yes, that's right.
They were like in love with this movie, and it was fun hearing them sort of poke fun at the things that were worth poking fun at, but also gushing about it as well. And it kind of made me want to check it out. So it's like their enthusiasm. It's a very positive.
Yeah. So the hosts are Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael, and of course Jason Mantzoukas.
Friggin' hilarious. They're all great.
They're all great. It's the chemistry between them is what's so perfect.
Yeah.
And Mantzoukas obviously, he's just like a force of nature. This guy.
Yeah. For sure.
And I went with my wife, and this is one of the rare times where we actually got to hang out together. And she has not heard the show, but she knows Jason Mantzoukas mainly because whenever we're watching anything that he shows up in, because he acts, I'm like, oh, Jason Mantzoukas. Right. And he's like a semi-regular on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which we're watching.
Right.
And so for her, the hook was really just seeing Jason Mantzoukas live and in person, and of course he's and the film, by the way, was Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives.
Okay.
Which I've never seen.
No.
I've not seen any of the Jason movies except for I think Part 8, part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do I want to watch this beforehand?
Right.
So I'd be on our way there. On YouTube, I just pulled up like a quick recap, like a video recap, just to get a sense of
what you're getting into. Yeah.
And last night was Friday the 13th.
Right, right,
So
right.
it timed out well, and this was in Berkeley, and it was just a great experience, and it was so, the energy is great, and I loved seeing all the stuff that I listened to and actually happening in live action, in front of me, and it made me say again, one of these days, man, we're gonna do a live movie film show.
Oh man, I would absolutely love that.
It's gonna happen. That's on my bucket list of things to do.
Well, with the show last night, I mean, were you? I know, like Paul, the thing is, he always goes up into the balcony.
Yes.
And then Mantzoukas talks about the monsters in the balcony. I mean, was it kind of fun seeing all that stuff play out?
It was. He came, like, he was standing right next to my wife and I.
Oh, fun!
As he took a question from somebody. So
yeah,
it was very cool.
And they have a laptop. Is that how they're playing all the clips?
They played off a laptop, and the laptop was not cooperating.
Oh, right.
It's very funny. Yeah, folks, if you have not heard the show, How Did This Get Made? Check it out. And, there's a handful of, like, all-time episodes. The one where they talk about Demolition Man is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah.
There's more, but it's very, very funny.
Yeah. That's so cool.
All right. Well, hey, before we get to headlines and et cetera, we have some listener letters. These are some comments left on our most recent episode that I wanted to share with you.
Cool.
So this is a comment that was left for us on our Facebook page by Tyler Kloster, who says, "Thanks for talking about the Weinstein documentary on Hulu. I felt compelled to check it out, but I confess I couldn't watch it all at once because it was too upsetting. Horrifying, nightmarish stuff. It's so awful what an open secret this was out in Hollywood. His name is one that appears in the credits of a lot of movies I love, and while it hasn't yet really changed how I feel about most of them, it's sobering nonetheless. It's scary and depressing to think about how many people, including a lot of creative people whose work we love and admire on both sides of the camera, either directly enabled him or else knew but never said or did anything, even knowing how much power he wielded."
Yeah.
Wait, have you had a chance to check out that documentary?
No, I have not.
Are you planning on checking it out?
I can't decide.
I know, it's rough, right?
It's one of those things, and I know these are really apples and oranges, but there are a lot of things that I've heard have been good lately that I just don't know that I have the stomach for.
Yeah.
Chernobyl being one of them.
Yep, me too.
So a lot of human misery and
yeah, it is difficult but important in its own way.
Yeah,
is what I would say.
Yeah.
This is a comment by Charles Landy on Facebook, and he says, "I invite anyone who didn't enjoy the Chappelle special, which is called Sticks and Stones, to go watch Bill Burr's Paper Tiger on Netflix. It's a freaking banger. Same general set of taboo topics, same general approach, but so much funnier, insightful, and approachable. Still got love for Dave, but Bill handed him his ass on this one."
Interesting. Yeah, I know Bill Burr's I'm totally familiar with him, and I think I've heard him more in interview contexts.
Me too.
Than I have his actual stand-up. But I'll check that out.
I have to confess, I don't think I've ever heard Bill Burr's stand-up.
If I have, it's been like on a talk show maybe, and then 5 minutes, and then he goes and sits and chats and,
I've seen the desk segments.
Right.
And it's very funny. With Jimmy Fallon, whatever. It's very. I think there is a broader conversation that's sort of happening in society right now, which is what are the acceptable boundaries that comedians are allowed to cross over without it being deemed offensive, without being deliberately offensive. It's one thing if you're like an insult comic, like, I don't know, Andrew Dice Clay or something.
In the front row, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, there's that.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, comedians at their best, good comedians at their best, are able to take hot button issues and make you look at them from a different perspective. And I think to a large extent that's where, as much as I admit fully that I laughed a lot during Sticks and Stones, but I think there were certain corridors Dave Chappelle went down that, that weren't funny so much as, like, angry man on the porch sort of yelling at you,
Right.
And so I'm curious. Yeah, I've added Bill Burr the special to my queue, but I have not watched it yet. But I'm fascinated by what Charles is saying. That's interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's comparing those things. Having watched the Chappelle special, I think I'm in the same boat with you with the Chappelle special. So yeah, I'm curious to check this out.
Yeah. All right, why don't we take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about some headlines.
Sounds good.
And we're back, and Brian, we were just talking about comedians and sort of the lines of acceptability, what is and is not allowed, and I just thought that dovetails with this sort of mini controversy this past week relating to comedy and content and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so Saturday Night Live announced their new cast additions for this week, and one of their new cast members is a guy named Bowen Yang, who he was a writer on the show, but now he's going to be one of the on-screen actors, and he's the first Asian American performer they've ever had, like East Asian.
Wow.
Which is kind of like, that's one of those things where you're like, really?
Yeah, that's surprising.
And he's also LGBT, and I mean, I'm sure they've had LGBT performers, right? I mean, they must have.
They must have.
Just the statistically.
Oh yeah. There was someone. Well, no, this sounds really like, yes, of course, but I think it was back in the '80s or something, right, or '90s. I think.
Oh, that's
I'm forgetting
right.
his name, but he was kind of bullied.
Yes. It was like Lorne
This is all
Michaels,
fuzzy in my head. I'm sorry.
It was like Lorne Michaels' first year back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was like the year that Robert Downey was on it.
Yeah. That whole sort of.
Which, isn't that crazy? I told my students recently, just offhand, I was like, hey, and Robert Downey was on Saturday Night Live. And they could not believe it.
Yeah, right.
Which is just a weird, I mean, it's kind of a, I have not seen enough of his sketches, but I still have a hard time sort of.
Yeah, I don't know that I have either, but he's definitely had a lot of eras.
Robert Downey?
Yeah, I mean, you think about like 80s Weird Science Robert Downey Jr., and then you think about SNL, and
yes,
then of course the 90s, and where he was punchlines on TV shows, and
yes. Yeah. Okay, wait. So hold on. The only openly gay men to appear on the show before Bowen are Terry Sweeney, which is who you're thinking of.
Yeah.
On one season from 85 to 86, and John Milheiser, who was briefly part of the cast for the 2013-2014 season.
Huh.
Oh, and Kate McKinnon is gay.
Oh, right.
John Milheiser.
I can't place.
I can't place him. Hold on. Let's see what he looks like.
It'll be if he had like some sort of character or something that we remember.
I pulled up his image, and I don't recognize him.
No.
And I mean, I watched the show, so I just don't, he must not have made too much of a mark.
Yeah.
Anyway, so okay, so there's that. That's like the yay progress story.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say one of the other new cast members is a guy named Shane Gillis. Right. So this controversy blew up because he's a comedian who has a history of sort of using racial slurs and things like that as part of his comedy, and he hosts a podcast. It's called the Real Ass Podcast.
Now, were these?
Oh no. So he appeared on an episode of a show called the Real Ass Podcast, where he.
Oh, I see.
He's. So he referred to Andrew Yang as a slur for Chinese people.
Right.
So he's got a history of this stuff.
And it's not even like one of those things where he said something 10 years ago that we've come around on and realized, maybe that's not such a nice thing. Like, we sort of like let that pass for a while, but now we've sort of come to realize, like, this is like last year.
Yes,
and sometimes I don't dig into this stuff. I just read the article and move on. But like, I watched a little clip of his thing, and my mind was blown. The stuff he was saying.
I had that exact
awful stuff.
I had that exact reaction. I was like, all right, well, let's see what he had to say, and then I was like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah, like just baffling.
And the thing is, by the way, this guy's 38, Brian.
Yeah.
So he's our age, roughly. Okay.
Right.
So he's old enough to know better, right?
Yes.
So even
one would think.
Here's my point. Even if you say, "Oh, this is 10 years ago," well, 10 years ago you were 28, dude.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But this isn't even that. This is like a year or so ago, and the what I wanted to comment on is like, well, I mean, we'll see what happens with him. I'm doubtful he even makes it to air.
Yeah, I think this could be, because I know they've had some things like this in the past where people find unsavory stuff on Twitter with certain people, like even what's his name,
Michael Che.
Michael Che, yeah. People every now and then get find things that aren't so great on his Twitter, but he remains.
Yes.
And but this is the first one where it's just. And when by the way, when I'm saying like things 10 years ago that were kind of like wishy-washy, there are certain things that were never okay. And there are some words, like for example, like the R word.
Yes.
I mean, growing up in the 80s,
right.
Me and my friends, we said that. And it's something that I would never say now. I've come to see what a harmful kind of gross thing that is to throw around.
That and Brian, just to add to stuff like certainly in the 90s, you said, "Oh man, that is gay," right? You wouldn't do
totally
that now, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, that's just how kids talked, and it's a good thing that we've come around on these things. And
and we're talking about Saturday Night Live. There's a sketch. I don't know if you've seen this, but this is so appropriate. It's Larry David hosted, and he plays a guy who's being awarded for the PSAs that he made.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
And it's exactly this.
Yes. Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Well, it's just my point was Gillis wasn't saying like words that like you, when you're a kid, like, oh, maybe I've sort of come around. Like these are like racial slurs. Like it's just, I was shocked. I was shocked seeing this and knowing that he said all this stuff last year. And it wasn't even under the guise of satire. Like it was... He's just saying awful things, and I was like, I would be completely fine if they were like, "Wow, we don't know what we were thinking," and kind of cut this guy loose.
And that's the thing, right? Because so he's announced, and then right away, people start doing the deep dive into his, social media history and whatever, right? So, So in this particular instance, I'm like, well, this is just awful. So, yeah. However, there is a broader discussion that I think is worth having about, is that okay either, where like that's like what we do. It's like we are looking to cancel people.
Right.
And so I want to make this decision. I'm like, in this particular instance, yeah, I mean, this is abhorrent. So whatever happens. But there is sort of a glee with which people spelunk into people's history, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I'm on this weird. I'm a Libra, Brian. I see both sides. Because not defending anything he said, but I mean, is that in terms of our collective cultural health, is this a good thing where this is the first thing that we do?
Man, I don't know. It's there's been a lot of examples of this. I mean, even recently there was a story about Sarah Silverman being let go from some big movie because of something she had said 10 years ago. And I don't know. Like, this is all kind of, you have to decide what sits right with you. And I feel like with her, she used to say a lot of really, really offensive things. But I think she sort of did it highlighting that they were bad. Like she wasn't saying them earnestly. It was sort of like you know what I'm trying to say? Like it was, again, from the lack of my vocabulary, but just sort of satirical.
Right.
But then other comedians, what's that guy? Kevin
Hart.
Man, I'm having a hard time with my brain this morning. I'm sorry. Kevin Hart. Like, he said some things that were just outright mean.
Yes.
Regarding like if his kid was gay, and it just wasn't funny. Like, it was just kind of mean.
Right.
And so then it's I think it becomes something where these people have to address it and be like, look, this is where it's coming from, or like, I have changed my ways since then, and blah, 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 and I've learned this and I've learned that. And I think with this guy, what's interesting is that he's clearly learned nothing. Like, this is just kind of who he is at the moment, and that's not something that a person we want out there on a stage, right? So yeah, it's kind of weird when these people do this. Yeah, it's funny when we say the gleeful spelunking. I mean, in some ways it can be sort of illuminating, but yeah, in other ways it does feel like a witch hunt isn't the right word, because that means there's nothing there. But I don't know. Sorry, I'm just babbling.
No, I don't think you are babbling. I mean, I think this is something I think about a lot. I tell my students this all the time, right? I mean, you guys are gonna have to deal with social media in a way that I and people from my generation do not have to in the same way, where I don't have to be accountable for things I said when I was 15, 16, 17.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm glad there was no Twitter when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what stupid stuff I would have said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I certainly don't, as a 40-year-old, want to have to be like, oh, well, in 1995, when I said this, you got to realize that, the Jeff Foxworthy show had just gotten canceled, and I was emotional. Or whatever, Like,
well, you want to think that people are capable of growth.
Right.
And maturing, yeah.
And that's the thing is Twitter and all, Facebook and all this stuff, what it allows for is quote-unquote receipts.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I mean, shit, this is not even remotely comparable, but I'm still dealing with this crap where, back when Batman vs. Superman came out, I spent maybe a couple weeks making jokes about Zack Snyder,
mm-hmm.
and I still got to hear that shit from people who are like, oh, yeah, well, you said this.
Back in 2013.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, again, not even remotely the same, but...
You're right. But yeah, no, there's things you like. I could say something this morning about a cup of coffee, and I make some comment or whatever, and it means nothing. Yes. But if I put it in writing and I leave it on the internet forever, it's like someone would take my meaning in the present.
Yes.
Regardless if that was like 8 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. So it's sort of like I think your feelings on Zack Snyder they evolve and they also change in the moment, and they have to do with different aspects, and so there's like a context entirely missing from those sorts of things.
Yeah, and I mean, in that particular instance, I've said, look, I said that back then. I regret it. I think I was harsher than I needed to be, but it's there. I own it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm just extremely grateful that, I have a feeling that people trying to spelunk through my Twitter history would be very bored, I hope, anyway, I'm also extremely grateful that, people who are scouring archives of our show would, I don't think, come away finding anything. I was like listening to the excerpts from this, and I'm like, thank God Brian's not a flaming racist. that was my first thought. I was like,
Yeah, well, ditto. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this feels self-congratulatory, but I'm very grateful.
That's the bar, Brian. That's where the bar is in 2019.
Congratulating ourselves
for not being racist.
Right. But no, it's nice to get to chat with someone and riff who I know has a good soul. You know what I mean? It isn't going to say awful things. It's going to, so I don't know. I feel kind of even weird saying that because it just feels like I'm patting us on the back. But I do feel very grateful that is the tone of our show, and that's who you are. And I'm just glad there's like you said, I'm glad there's nothing skeletons in our closet that people could dig up, because that's just
hopefully I'm like knocking on all the wood I can find.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, yeah. This is we're setting out an invitation, aren't
we? We're daring the universe to do some shit. No, but I do have a good soul, and I'm glad someone finally noticed.
Yeah.
It's about damn time.
Yeah. Put it in writing.
So the Shane Gillis story, I'm curious. Again, my history of prediction making is not stellar, but I would be very surprised if the show makes it to air with him still as part of the cast.
Yeah. So I mean, if I were to conclude what we had just sort of talked about, I would say for people who've said awful things in the past, or awful is pretty strong, but who've said
questionable,
unsavory, questionable things in the past, I would like to think that we, in the present, could let them explain themselves and leave room for personal growth. But in this instance, I mean, like I said, I was shocked that this is really, really recent stuff, and I don't see any excuse for it. And so I would not be surprised, as you said. I agree. I wouldn't be surprised if they let this guy go.
So this has happened a couple times with SNL recently, so you'd think they'd change their best practices as far as new hire it's not enough.
Doing
to
the
laugh at
research,
their
yeah.
right? Like, but the other thing is Lorne Michaels. I'm sure it's a headache he doesn't need.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, just why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go ahead and let you go before you start. Right.
Right. Well,
I'm gonna add Lorne Michaels to my
yeah, it's your stable of characters.
to my roster. Yeah. So actually, we're talking about social media, and I wanted to bring this up too. And it's appropriate because James Gunn, of course, speaking of internet spelunking, he was a victim of said. People and people with malicious intent went into his Twitter history to demolish him, and he got briefly fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That whole situation has worked itself out where he has now been rehired. However, in the interim, while he was fired, the Warner Brothers people were like, hey, come on in over here. The water's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So they hired him to do the Suicide Squad sequel, which is called The Suicide Squad. So we took the definite article from the Joker and we just moved it over to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and Justin Timberlake was not pleased.
That's right. So they just announced the cast for this. So James Gunn on Instagram announces the cast, and it's David Dastmalchian from the Ant-Man movies, John Cena, Jai Courtney, Nathan Fillion, Joel Kinnaman. Who else we got here? Sean Gunn, of course.
Pete Davidson,
Taika Waititi, Alice Braga. Actually, a pretty interesting cast. Idris Elba, Peter Capaldi, Margot Robbie is back, of course. Michael
Viola
Rooker,
Davis back.
Viola Davis. Yeah. So anyway, so this gets put out there, and I look at that and I'm like, huh, interesting. You know, and so the Twitter briefly kind of social media goes alight, and people are talking about it. People are buzzing about it, and so. Again, we talk about the corrosive effect of social media. So here's David Ehrlich, who is a critic for IndieWire, and in responding to the conversation about the Suicide Squad sequel casting, he tweets like a meme from the movie Memento, where Guy Pearce is writing, "Don't believe the lies," right? And he writes, David Ehrlich writes, that feeling when a movie studio makes a splashy, exciting announcement about a sequel to some dumb piece of shit that literally every sane person on Earth hated with a passion when it came out like 10 minutes ago.
Doesn't that sound like a preteen, angry kid sort of comment?
It totally does. And the thing about that is it's written with the intent to stir passions and to... whether consciously or unconsciously, to go viral.
Right.
And so David Ehrlich puts that out into the world, and then he warrants a response from none other than David Ayer, who wrote and directed the first Suicide Squad movie from 2016. And so David Ayer says, David Ehrlich, that's really mean-spirited. I understand the nature of your job and the necessity to grab eyes, but a lot of people dedicated their blood, sweat, and tears and came together to make the original. It's incredibly painful to have 2 years of my love attacked in such a way.
Wow. That's really patiently put.
I mean, that's the thing.
Some restraint there and some tact.
It is. I mean, I think David Ayer, to his credit, he could have gone ballistic on him, and I think he probably still would have been justified. Right? And it occurs to me, like, the job of a critic should not be, hey, let me crap on this thing as cleverly and humorously as possible, fully acknowledging that sometimes that's what's warranted. Right? But, like, the idea that you actually have to confront the consequences of what you say, like, you're hurting somebody. You know?
Yeah, and that, if you're writing a review and that's his profession, right? And you're writing how you feel and you're explaining why. I mean, that's one thing, but just this thing sucks, and remember how this sucks, and this is dumb because that thing sucked. Like, it just feels so juvenile.
Well, I think this goes back to what I said before, Brian. How much time do you get to remain pissed off about a movie? What was my window?
I don't remember.
6 months.
6 months? Okay.
6 months. You get 6 months. You get it out of your system.
Yeah.
After that, you're just being mean.
Yeah, and then what's he saying? Don't believe the lies, or
Yeah, in other words, I think the what he's trying to say. Well, hold on. Let me see if he himself adds to it. Okay, so this is like his follow-up to that tweet. He says, James Gunn is very good at this, and I'm sure Suicide Squad or whatever will be a big step up. But if we could all take a, quote, guilty until proven innocent approach to this stuff, we'd probably live longer and spend more time focused on the masterpiece Hustlers in theaters now. I don't know if he's joking about the Hustlers part, but I mean, that movie's doing really well at the box office.
Yeah.
But the point is, here's my point. I'm like, if people are evincing excitement for this,
yeah,
why not just let them be excited?
Yeah, and also, I mean, this is, some returning actors, but this is like a new thing from a new author.
It's a new take.
So why are you already taking a dump on this thing? It's not even probably finished yet.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the point?
I mean, and I'm not holding myself up as any kind of example, but certainly for me as a critic, I'm extremely conscious about what I put out into the world about a movie before it's out.
Mm-hmm.
So the extent of negativity I'm going to be is like, I'm not sure what to think about this, but I'll be watching it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I'm very sensitive to that. I don't want people to be like, oh, he went in with an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
So granted, I'll put stuff out there where I'm like, oh man, this looks really interesting, whatever. But I just, I don't know. To me, and this has been a process of myself as I've realized, like, well, if you've got people who are paying attention to what you're saying, you want to be a little more sensitive to exactly this. I mean, I'd hate to say something that makes David Ayer's day worse, like
right.
I mean, I feel like even if you give a movie a negative review, again, which I have done.
Yeah, and then you leave it there. You don't need to keep harping on it.
Yeah, I that's right. I think you put that. It's like Roger Ebert had a whole book of his
right.
like funniest bad reviews, right? But it's like how many times did he continue to talk about North or whatever? Like
North. Yeah.
I think North is the movie that prompted the title of the book, which is I hated this movie.
Yeah.
Which I realize people listening are like, what the hell's North? So it's a movie starring Elijah Wood as a kid whose parents, I think Jason Alexander is his dad, I don't know who plays his mom, but he seeks and wins a divorce from his parents.
Right.
And so he travels the world looking for new parents, and Bruce Willis dressed up in a bunny costume is like his spirit guide.
Yeah, and this is a Rob Reiner movie,
It's a Rob Reiner movie. So this is an actual thing that exists, and I have no explanation, but
I wonder if there's a how did this get made of that.
There isn't, but I almost wonder why there isn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising.
So anyway,
yeah.
I don't know, Brian. I don't know what I was trying to say with all this, but
no, I feel. I mean, this is just like a op-ed moment, I guess, for us. But in this moment where just so many people are just throwing verbal smog into the air.
Yeah.
This just feels like, for someone, if he has any critique of that or has commented on that, I mean, he's just throwing up more unnecessary smog. And I just think it'd be nice if he took a step back, realized it, and maybe rethought the way he did some things.
Yeah, I mean, perfect with that Suicide Squad thing. I mean, it's very easy to just spin that and say, I wasn't crazy about the last one, but let's see how this next one turns out.
Yeah, promising cast, or
whatever. I mean, just the idea of sort of. I think what really hit me about what Ayer said is like, listen, a lot of people, they put in work, and they believe in this thing, and so when you say that, you're diminishing people's creativity and sort of things that they've imprinted their identity onto.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, moving on. Paul Feig.
Yeah.
Brian, Paul Feig has a new thing coming up.
Yeah, this one kind of surprised me. This was, like 2-3 years ago, was that, where we had the Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy from Universal?
It was supposed to launch the Dark Universe.
Yeah, cinematic universe of all the Universal monsters, and then
Which, Brian, by the way, I know I give myself crap for my predictions going awry. This one, I predicted. I said none of those other movies are going to get made.
yeah. Well, and you were correct.
I was not alone in predicting that, but I'm going to take my victories where I can.
Yeah. But they said they were going to do a Bride of Frankenstein movie with Angelina Jolie, and they're going to do like an Invisible Man movie. And then I think they decided that I think they're still going forward with those, but they're not going to be part of some sort of connected universe where they had who was it? Russell Crowe
as Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah, as sort of their Nick Fury.
He was the Nick Fury,
trying to assemble.
exactly.
So anyway, just this past week, I guess Paul Feig is going to be making a movie called Dark Army.
Yes.
Which we know very little about, but it will feature the Universal monsters. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, he's like known primarily as a comedic director, so I'm not quite sure what the angle will be, but I don't know. Could be cool. Makes me think of like Monster Squad, right? When we were kids.
Yes.
They sort of made the Goonies, but they're like, what if the Goonies, but with Universal monsters? And
yeah, I think I just from the bare bones description, it sounds like it's an attempt to go back to more of like a classic version of those characters, the way they looked in the 30s and 40s, and 50s, which is something I've been advocating for a long time. I think that the mistake Universal has made is in trying to reboot these characters separate from the way they are familiar to people.
Yeah, they tried to make a 2019 version of what the Mummy would look like, or almost.
Yeah.
This is my own crappy comparison, but it's almost like, what if Marvel made a Mummy movie? Like, well, he'd be handsome, and it'd be like a lot of action, and it would and instead of just sort of letting it be the thing it wants to be.
Like think about this: if you do a Frankenstein movie, if you're Universal and you're going to do a Frankenstein movie, do a Frankenstein who looks like Boris Karloff.
Right.
Because we haven't seen that since the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So for most people, that's like the quote-unquote real Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, totally.
Like this is my issue with Van Helsing, right? The one of the umpteen previous times they've tried to reboot these characters. Where the Wolfman and Dracula and Frankenstein, you're like, wow, they're bringing them all back. But like that doesn't look like any Frankenstein I know, and Dracula is just awful, and the Wolfman, I don't know what's happening there, right?
I was trying to decide actually just now if I was contradicting myself, because I was thinking about the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies and how they're total action films. But on the other hand, I've already changed my mind because they did try to capture like a 30s-ish spirit.
And not just that, those stand separate because they are Brendan Fraser movies featuring a creature. So it's the whole paradigm was shifted. Yeah,
but he is still a creature.
Yes,
the Mummy in that movie.
And by the way, Brian, if you ask me, have Brendan Fraser hit the gym a little bit. Bring him back. Do a Rick O'Connell movie.
I'd be into that.
I think people would show up for that.
Yeah,
it's been long enough. I'm sure he'd be up for it.
Sure,
So I don't know that Paul Feig's toolkit would allow him to do something truly, gothic with only hints of humor. Like, I don't want Paul Feig style humor.
No, I don't either. He's an interesting director. I know he gets a lot of crap because of Ghostbusters in recent years, but yes. He's a talented guy.
Oh, for sure.
And he does what he does really well. So yes. I'm curious. I'm always curious what he's doing. What was that movie he did? A Simple Plan. I always call it A Simple Plan. I know that's not what it is.
Yeah,
Simple Favor.
That's the Anne Hathaway one, right?
No, that was the one with Blake Lively and
that's right.
Anna Kendrick. And that was just this odd movie where it was like he was trying to make a thriller, but he shot it like one of his comedies.
Oh, interesting.
And it just felt off.
That's my concern. Is I wonder if his, like I said, if his toolkit can encompass something that's more dark,
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess it sort of depends what he's going for. I do feel like I said, I'm still interested in his output.
Yes.
So I just, I I don't know. This is one of those. This is like, I guess, kind of a gamble.
Yeah, I think the trick with the Universal monsters is it doesn't need to be horrific or scary.
Yes.
But it should be gothic, and it should be,
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm a big fan of the original batch of those movies, and I've said before, I'm actually writing a chapter of a book about how they are the first cinematic universe.
Right. Yeah.
And that's just a cool thing, And I feel like Universal's sitting on something really interesting. They just don't know how to exploit this thing that they're desperately trying to exploit.
Yeah, or sometimes I think, and I can understand because there's a lot of money at stake, but you try to make something into something it isn't just because you feel like that's what people want.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're trying to make something for the current climate when really you should be just doing the best version of the thing.
Yeah.
Whatever it wants to be. And I feel like sometimes, audiences like surprises like that. They want to see the thing they weren't expecting. So,
well, and I know that Lee Wannell, who did, that movie that I really liked. the oh my God, I'm drawing a total blank.
What does he do? He did like Insidious, Saw.
The thing with the guy who's like got the computer in his head.
Oh, what's that called?
Right? I loved it. It was one of my favorites of last year.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Oh, Upgrade.
Upgrade. Thank you. God, this is happening a lot lately. This is what happens.
I don't know. I know my brain is moving at like half speed this morning. I don't know what it is. I'm having a great time, but the computer's going a little slower.
I turned 40 in less than 2 weeks, and I'm terrified that this is now the new normal. Anyway, he did Upgrade, so he's doing The Invisible Man.
Okay.
I'm all about that.
Yeah. I think an Invisible Man movie could be really interesting. Did you ever see the Chevy Chase one, by the way?
Memoirs of John Carpenter.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since like 1990.
Yeah, no, same.
I think what that movie shows is the only way you can make a Chevy Chase movie is by just not having him interact with anybody, right. And just have him show up separately to record voiceover.
Yeah. That's pretty funny.
That's really what that movie is about.
Yeah.
Although it didn't do that well, if my recollection is correct.
Yeah, I don't think so. I ended up getting a DVD of it because I worked at the company that made it, and they gave us a duffel bag full of DVDs of all their movies, and that's one of those things I've always been meaning to pop in and sort of check out.
Is that one of those like rare DVDs that you could probably like bank by selling?
You know what? There was an era, by the way. So okay, this is a little tangent, but so like I said, they give you this duffel bag. This company gave us a duffel bag of all their movies, and one of them was the movie Ty Cobb with Tommy Lee Jones. Okay. And then years later, I don't work there anymore. Someone from that company reaches out to me and a bunch of other people, and he's like, heads up, if you have that Ty Cobb DVD, it's worth like $300.
No way.
Yeah, so like all of a sudden, all these people were trying to put it on eBay, and I kind of let the moment pass. But then I think there was like this window, and now I think most of these things are available through streaming.
You're right.
So it's sort of, shifted the value of some of these things. But yeah, I can imagine that one being one of those sort of out of print DVDs.
I'm curious. I'm looking it up on Amazon right now. I'm just Memoirs of an Invisible Man goes for $12 on DVD. So
yeah, but I bet like 7 years ago or something.
Yeah,
there's
like a window.
Yeah. I remember too when I was at this office and I moved into a new desk and someone had left all their crap and I was like, seriously? But they left all these DVDs and I was looking and they had the Chipmunk Adventure and I was like, I love that movie when I was a kid. And then just because that was in that moment when things were worth a lot of money, I looked it up and sure enough on eBay that DVD was going for like $100.
Really?
So yeah, it was like a funny moment. But then now all that stuff's available through some sort of easy avenue.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This episode's all over the place, but I kind of like it.
Well, speaking of things that are obsolete and on their way out, Movie Pass. I was about to say movie film. That was like a Freudian slip. The Movie Film Podcast. Wait a minute, what? The Movie Pass service. Wait, we got no. One last time, Brian. We got to play the music.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Zachy, we gotta bring this down here. Movie Pass. I mean, what more can be said on this podcast about Movie Pass that hasn't been said? Except that Movie Pass is now officially dead. It's over. I was reading an article about them. At their height, they had 3 million subscribers. And currently, I think as of like the last month or so, they had about 250,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so they just ran out of money. It's just a service that couldn't maintain itself anymore, and they finally gave up. They did everything to try to keep this thing going, like stock splits and all sorts of stuff. And I remember their stock was jumping all over the place. It would go from like $10 to literally pennies, and then $2 and then pennies again. And you know, it's been an interesting experiment, and I think what it proved was that there is a market for this. They weren't ready for it, and now we have, you know, what you have, the AMC. What do you call it? The A-list?
Yes.
Right? So, you know, I'm saluting Movie Pass. Can't see it. Thank you for getting this ball rolling. I think it was a great idea.
Movie Pass, you allowed Brian to watch 3 identical strangers.
Yes, I did. I saw more movies in the theater than I think I had in years.
Yeah.
While I had that pass. I mean, it was you know, it'd make me go out and see things that I might not have otherwise seen or I would have waited for. But I was like, well, why not? You know, I could.
Well, you are the reason that they ran into financial difficulty. you specifically.
I guess, but you know, it's funny. I wasn't even using it on blockbusters. Like I was going and seeing a lot of the more art house stuff, like all the documentaries, and it was kind of cool because it's stuff that I probably would have checked out eventually on Netflix or something. But it was like, well, if I can go see it on big screen, I'd rather do that.
Yeah, I mean, you were using it for like the right reason.
Yeah.
Which was to give eyeballs to some of these movies that people wouldn't otherwise watch.
Yeah. So, well, this could be the last time we play this music because I think they're done.
Yeah, hail and farewell, Movie Pass, you poor bastards. literally poor bastards. They took a bath. But hey, let's keep the music playing because it's time for Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
All right, Brian, Star Wars news. What do we got?
Well, this has been quite the week. This is more tangential news, but for J.J. Abrams and his Bad Robot Company, they just finalized a deal with Warner Brothers. It's worth $500 million. Yeah, so I mean, he is a mogul.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to be. I mean, this is covering a variety of things, not just J.J. Abrams movies. I mean, this is like Bad Robot as like an enterprise. So I mean, it's going to be TV shows, films. He's going to also like produce movies and bring in other filmmakers. So it'll be interesting. You know, I was thinking about this because when I think about J.J. Abrams, I think, yeah, I like J.J. Abrams, but I mean, we haven't really, aside from television, seen his voice. Right? I mean, because we have 2 Star Trek movies. We're going to have 2 Star Wars movies. And I was trying to think, well, Mission Impossible movie, which I like, but it's another thing that had already happened. It's kind of a Tom Cruise joint.
Yeah.
And we have Super 8, but Super 8 is really a Spielberg riff.
It's a pastiche, yeah.
It's a pastiche, yeah. So I'm very curious. I want to hear J.J. Abrams' voice. So, you know, I mean, Bad Robot is obviously a company that is worth owning. I mean, especially for the television side of things. I mean, they make a lot of successful television.
And so he's been at Paramount. His company has been at Paramount for like ever.
Yeah.
And it feels like that was like an open marriage.
Yeah.
Right? Because he was off doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, that's a crazy thing when Paramount's like, oh, you're going to go direct what is sure to be one of the biggest hits of all time for somebody else. Okay, well, that's fine, honey. You know?
That seemed like a weird moment, wasn't it? Where it's just, and I think it was sort of like, well, yeah, you couldn't not let him do that, but that's just so not a business line of thinking.
Right, exactly. So that's a weird thing, but I feel like what this means is that The Rise of Skywalker is going to be his last like non-JJ IP for a while. And
I'm fine with that. But I mean, like I said too, the television, I didn't even realize. I mean, he's producing all those Stephen King shows. I think he did the 11/22/63, the Castle Rock. He's doing Westworld right now. I mean, his fingerprints are on a lot of things that you kind of forget about. But yeah, the thing I'm looking forward to most is I want to see a J.J. Abrams film.
Well, the other thought is if he's at Warner Brothers, you don't think they're going to try to get him on a DC movie?
Oh, for sure, or at least producing one, sort of
Something,
like,
right?
excuse me, Christopher Nolan. After he did his Dark Knight, you had at least him producing Man of Steel.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know
so,
what?
yeah.
I mean, J.J. Abrams wrote a Superman script that almost went into production like 15, 17 years ago.
Yeah, which I have not read, but I feel like wasn't well received. Right?
It was not well received, so I'm curious if... I mean, it seems to me that if you're Warner Brothers, putting J.J. Abrams' name on a Superman movie feels like obviously that's a conversation they've had.
Oh, I'm
We're not the first people to bring this up.
right.
You know?
Right.
All right, well, do we have any other Star Wars news?
Yeah, well, you had something that you had mentioned to me that I wasn't aware of. Some documentary?
Yeah, so there's a UK documentary crew that is essentially the whole premise of their documentary is they want to find the actor who played the stormtrooper who bumped his head. Right.
Yeah.
Right, which is in the Death Star, and then if you remember in the Attack of the Clones commentary, they that moment became iconic enough that they had Jango Fett bump his head.
Yeah, so that was sort of a trait that is inherent.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess because they're all clones, right? So
yeah, so this is I just this goes back to something we talk about a lot, how all the ways Star Wars continues to weave its web over our cultural conversation. And so the whole purpose of this documentary is just to find the guy. We can't find the guy.
Have you watched this, or you heard of it?
No, so this is a doc. I have not watched it yet, but it's a documentary that is coming out.
Yeah.
So they interview several people. Of course, they interview Kevin Smith because you just you put up the Star Wars signal and he'll show up.
Right.
Greg Grunberg, other people, and just sort of diving into the history of the original movie. I mean, that just sounds like something I'd be interested in watching. I love the title, by the way, Brian.
Yeah.
The title's so perfect. It's called Empire Strikes Door.
That's pretty great.
So this is going to be available on YouTube.
All right. It seems like a good little launching pad to get into the people who were in the trenches making that movie and talking firsthand with actors who had no idea what they were getting into, and all in the name of finding this person.
So it drops on YouTube. Oh, on September 25th, on my birthday, Brian.
Hey, what a gift!
I get a little present, a little Star Wars present on my 40th birthday.
Hey, wow!
Which is something I'm still coming to terms with.
Right.
So that wraps up Star Wars news, but let's take one more break, and then we'll come back, and as long promised, we're going to delve back into the summer movie season that just ended and offer our post-facto reactions to everything that we watched and some of the things we didn't.
I can't wait. I always enjoy recording these episodes, taking a look back. It's like we start in the spring looking ahead and excited about what's to come, and now we can look back and see what was and what wasn't.
We can look back with our shoulders slumped.
Once our popcorn box is empty, our Coke's nothing but ice.
That's right. This will be fun. And we're back, and Brian, this is our first show after Labor Day.
Yes.
We are both wearing white. Oh, wait, we don't wear white. You don't wear white after Labor Day, right?
I was just about to say, yeah, we don't care.
Oh. I don't know. What's the origin there? What's the story with that?
I have no idea.
That's like a weird thing, right?
I really don't know where that comes from. It's really funny.
I could Google that. It would take about 30 seconds, but I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Anyway, but it is our tradition ever since we started this show that our first show back after Labor Day, we kind of look back at the summer movie season that just ended and kind of, refresh our memories at the hits and the misses, what worked for us, what didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And this, looking back at the release list for this summer, I'm sort of struck by the fact that if it didn't have the word Disney or Marvel in it, like basically need not apply.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but the top 10 of the box office, let's say, of the summer, I mean, I think the top 4, at least 5, were all just Disney, right?
Basically.
I mean, like Avengers, Lion King, Spider-Man.
Which is technically Sony, but, it's Marvel. So.
Oh, touche. And then Aladdin. I mean, yeah, it was... Yeah.
Well, the summer started slightly early, right? Normally, first weekend of May starts the beginning of summer season, which itself, by the way, it used to be Memorial Day was the start of summer season.
Yes.
And it keeps getting pushed back. But now it's like last week of April.
Yeah, because the Fast and the Furious movies, I feel like, for a while, were sort of pushing it back, right? Because they were doing April.
They staked out April. Yeah.
And then, obviously, Avengers. I mean, there's no way you're not going to... that was a summer film for... Maybe not technically, but...
Right. So Avengers Endgame came out Friday, April 26th. So end of April. And nobody watched it. It's just a damn shame. It just kind of
Yeah, they worked really hard on it. And...
It is, I believe, now the unadjusted number 1 movie of all time.
Uh-huh.
So it made all the money.
It did.
And what is sort of fascinating about this film is I think it sucked the air out of the room early.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when I'm reflecting back on the summer, I am like, I don't even really remember it.
Yes.
Like I wrote down some of the things that we saw and talked about and things that we didn't see and da-da-da-da, but it wasn't a super memorable summer other than like a handful of things I liked.
Right.
There wasn't like a ton of, I don't know, felt kind of weak this time.
It really
things
did.
Underperformed, things disappointed maybe.
There were some quality productions.
Yeah.
But nothing really captured the zeitgeist like Avengers Endgame did. Mm-hmm. And I will offer, for as big of a Marvel fan as I am, I think that this is the peak Avengers Endgame. For Marvel, in terms of just being this zeitgeist commanding thing. Like, I think now it becomes more of like a regular thing.
Mm-hmm. And probably still one of the kings of the box office.
Oh, absolutely.
But not to this gargantuan, unprecedented, history-making level.
That's right. This is like, enjoy it.
Right. Because
this is that moment. This is a moment that, like, kids 20 years from now will be like, man, I remember when Avengers Endgame came out. That's what it's gonna be like.
Right.
So that made a lot of money, and then people moved out of the way. But luckily, there's a thing called counter programming, which is how we end up with ugly dolls. No, I did not see that, and nobody else did either. So.
Yeah.
Apparently, that movie is based on a toy line, which, just showing how totally out of touch I am, I had no idea.
I somehow do know what that is.
My kids were like, "Oh, there's an Ugly Dolls movie," and I'm like, "Explain this to me, Junior."
Right.
And I'm like, but no, you saw Long Shot, which was a piece of counter programming.
Yeah, and which I enjoyed, but I was surprised that it didn't. I never thought it was going to make $100 million, but not in front of me, but it only made like 30 some or 40 or not what you would expect.
I am not surprised. So it made $40 million against a $52 million budget,
mm-hmm.
which kind of to me is like, what are you doing spending $52 million on that movie?
That's true, but also it feels like there's usually one or two comedies that come out during the summer that kind of hit, and I feel like none of the comedies hit this summer. Booksmart was another thing where people, you couldn't escape that on social media. They were pushing that movie so hard. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen it. I put it under one of the things that I will eventually see. But people liked it, but it just didn't. I think it ended up with like $24 million or something. Yeah. Which I think surprised a lot of people. Just not the summer of the comedy.
Look, the reality is that the market has fundamentally shifted. And you can't solely blame the big blockbusters. People are like, oh, Disney is just, they're doing all these mega budget blockbusters and that's all anybody's saying. It's like, well, that's part of it. But the other factor here is the utility and access that streaming offers,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that within less than 90 days of a movie's release, you can be sitting your ass on your couch watching this thing at home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the market has changed. So a movie like Booksmart, which I have not seen, I can't speak to the quality of the movie, but most people are going to be like, if they have any interest in it, they'll be like, well, why would I pay $20 to watch it at the theater versus waiting, 60 days and just watching it at home for, even if I pay $7-8, it's still cheaper and I'm at home.
Yeah, I mean, Booksmart did actually look funny. I was going to point out also that movie Stuber.
Yes.
Which was...
That's with Dave Bautista, right? And
yeah,
Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah, and that one didn't look good, to be fair. But, just none of the comedies... It usually feels like one of them sort of hits and becomes the thing and makes like $100 million. But it just wasn't... None of them had that it factor this summer that made people show up.
Yeah, I mean, I think just generally weak output. Now, May 10th was Detective Pikachu.
Yes, which I still haven't seen, but I do plan on seeing it eventually.
And I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And, don't take my word for it. I asked my kids, I was like, what'd you think? And they're like, it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
And these are like Pokemon kids, right?
I wonder if the fact that it wasn't just a straight-up Pokemon movie, but it had to have some sort of hook to it.
Well, it is based on a video game called Detective Pikachu.
Okay. Well, there you go. Touche.
It's not just... Yeah, I didn't know that either, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about it. It is the most successful video game movie ever made or something like that.
Oh, right. I forgot
Up until Angry Birds 2, it was the most well-reviewed video game movie.
Angry Birds 2 got a better Rotten Tomatoes score than Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
huh?
Figure that one out. Because Detective Pikachu is at 68 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Huh.
And Angry Birds 2 is in like the mid-70s, so...
Well,
I don't know what the hell's wrong with people.
Wonders never cease.
Wonders never cease. But Detective Pikachu, again, it only did okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I'm looking now at the May 10th. The Hustle came out, and I was just thinking, what's The Hustle?
Right?
I totally forgot about this movie, the Rebel Wilson, Anne Hathaway remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Well, so here's the problem. Anne Hathaway is not a draw.
Yeah.
And Rebel Wilson is not a draw.
Yeah.
That's not a critique of either of those actors.
Right.
It's just a reality. Like, neither of them are going to put butts in seats.
Yeah, what was that other Rebel Wilson movie? The sort of isn't it Romantic?
Yes.
I feel like, that had less stakes to it because that came out, looks like February 13th. But I feel like that was like a modest hit. So it's I don't know. That just, again,
yeah.
From my perspective, the trailers didn't look all that great anyway.
Yeah, that's
right.
But
it's just another sort of bit of counter programming. People didn't show up.
Now, Detective Pikachu cost $150 million. It made $430 million worldwide.
Oh.
Which no one lost their shirt on it. But if you're Warner Brothers, you got to be disappointed in that.
Yeah.
Right?
You're hoping this kicks off your Pokemon cinematic universe.
Yes. And the fact that it didn't get to 500 even is I would assume that they're looking at that as a disappointment.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So I'm actually curious, like what their plans are, whether they plan to continue.
Yeah.
Next big release was John Wick 3.
Yeah, which did, I think, for a lot of people, surprisingly well. I think these have always been, modest hits, but this one came in, I want to say, like 5th or 6th place for top 10 box office of the summer. So this
$75 million budget, $321 million worldwide.
Yeah, because the first two films, I think, were something that its fan base was aware of and enjoyed, but it feels like a lot of people caught up and
it's
actually
grown.
went out to see this.
It's grown organically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how between Austin Powers 1 and 2...
Yes.
Right.
Perfect comparison.
Austin Powers was one of those movies that it didn't do anything in the theater, and then just people watched it on video, and it just word of mouth. It was a genuine word of mouth hit.
I remember that. Isn't that amazing to think? Because that was such. He was pre-Borat. The thing, the catchphrase, and everybody dressing up like him for Halloween. To think that first movie just tanked.
Yeah.
But that they thought to make a second one, and I remember that was an event movie when that came out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the summer of Star Wars.
Oh wow, is that 99? Wow.
99, yeah, and it was mentioned in the same breath,
Yeah, yeah.
So John Wick, one of the few non-Disney uncontested success stories of the summer.
Now, I think another story of the summer would be the whole Keanu sans, right?
Yes.
And did that start with John Wick 3? Why did that start?
Well, it's not just that. It's obviously because he was in Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been bubbling under the surface.
I think that is true too. I just wonder what was the thing that made the bubble burst and
right.
set Keanu forth on us.
And the problem, because we live in cynical times, is I'm living in terror for when sort of the worm turns and people turn on Keanu Reeves.
I agree, because he doesn't deserve it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Next big release was Aladdin on Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, which I know a lot of people were not responding to favorably.
Now, you have not seen it.
But what?
You have not seen it.
Oh, I saw Aladdin.
You did see it. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about it because I
you didn't see Lion King
much more than you did.
You didn't see Lion King.
I did not see Lion King. No.
Okay. So Brian, when we talked about Aladdin,
yeah,
I was not a huge fan of it.
Right.
And now I would say I have become more of a fan of it.
Oh, why?
Well, partly it's because I saw The Lion King and I found that so much worse.
Interesting. Okay.
Because I look at Aladdin and I'm like, well, at least it did a few things different, and the stuff that I like, I still like. The stuff that bothered me, I don't care about as much.
Yeah.
I can tolerate, and I have it. I own it now because the kids wanted it. And, it plays in the background occasionally, and I can tolerate it. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not like, let's watch Aladdin again, guys. But I don't mind it as much. Mm-hmm. And I truly believe part of that is because I was just so utterly, nonplussed by The Lion King.
That's pretty fascinating. And I remember when the trailers were coming out and we first saw what Will Smith looked like, a lot of people thought this isn't going to work.
Yes.
Right? And they thought this was going to be the first little bump in the road for Disney's live action remakes, but that proved not to be true.
Yeah, it was Dumbo a few months earlier.
Yeah, that's
right. And I'm still, honestly, I find these live action remakes cynical, and to a large extent joyless, because they are so calculated.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about Dumbo, actually.
Yeah,
which I caught over the summer at some point. But
yeah, like Dumbo is perfect. Like, I don't know about you, I'm like, it's fine, I guess.
Yeah,
like it's not. I don't think it's bad. There is craft in it.
Yes, agreed.
But like, why? Right?
Yeah. It didn't feel like they found some sort of way to make it essential again. Yeah,
and it felt. I would love to have caught Tim Burton at an unguarded moment. Talking about making this movie and trying to find his joy while making it.
Yeah.
Right? And so Aladdin, to me, it's like, well, it's Guy Ritchie, so there's like, glimmers of Ritchie-ness in it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's
visually interesting.
Yeah, sure. There is craft, but it's just very calculated. And the fact that Aladdin did as well as it did, I'm torn, because I appreciate and applaud the fact that we have a film with entirely it's a cast of brown people, and it sends a good message, because that means that Hollywood will be more willing to invest in this type of stuff. But it's like, I don't know, like, is this what the industry is becoming? Just this stuff. Here's the thing you liked again.
I would be okay with that as long as there were other things accompanying it.
Right.
So, I mean, if they did still find their original stories.
Yeah.
If that was still happening alongside the Marvel, alongside the Star Wars, I'd be like, great. But I don't know how much attention or budget or whatever they have, because they have to be spending all their time on these.
Right.
So I mourn what we're losing, but I get it.
See, but Brian, here's the thing. and this is like the conversation tends to lump all Disney product together.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, Star Wars, Marvel, these live action remakes. It's like, well, no. Star Wars is still giving us new stories.
Yeah, good point.
Marvel, like, we're getting new stuff. Yeah, it's sequels, but right, it's like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's as cynical as it gets. It's more cynical than making a sequel in a franchise. But yeah, so I wish Disney has so much creativity available.
Yeah.
I would love to see them explore avenues beyond this.
I totally agree. Because obviously, when they put stuff out, it's of a certain caliber. And I would love to see a lot of new original things being told by storytellers of that caliber.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I know that they're planning an Aladdin sequel, by the way, which I guess should not be that surprising.
Yeah, will be the Return of Jafar.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, like we'll just do the remake of that,
Right.
Which who voiced the genie in that, right?
Dan Castellaneta.
That's right, Dan Castellaneta.
Yeah, Homer Simpson.
Yeah, he was also the voice of the genie. Like they did an animated series, like a weekday afternoon thing.
Mm-hmm. And he did the voice of Doc Brown also, right, in the animated show.
In the animated Back to the Future. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another movie which I did not see, but I'm curious if you saw it, Brightburn.
Nah, that's just not my bag.
Yeah,
the horror Superman.
It's like, what if Superman was a friggin' sociopath? Yeah,
which is an interesting idea. I get why that's a great log line, but for me, I mean, we've said it's storied here that we're not horror guys, and a friend of mine who is a horror guy saw it, and he wasn't too hot on it, and he was just like, it's so gross. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. One of the trailers, it has like, somebody with like glass being put near their eye.
Yeah.
And I was like, next.
Yeah,
that's it. I don't.
No secret. This is our where we're coming from.
I don't need that. However, that being said, it cost about $6 million and it made $33 million.
Well, hey,
so
that's James Gunn, right?
It was produced by James Gunn. Yeah, I thought this was a Blumhouse joint, but I don't know if it is.
I don't know either.
But regardless, I mean, that model. Man, just spend next to nothing, and then it's all upside. But it's weird that studios are shying away from that because they'd rather roll the dice on a big risk,
right?
Big risk, big reward. What was a big risk, which I assume they thought would be a big reward, was Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
And this surprised the crap out of me. So this cost close to $200 million, and it made worldwide about $386 million.
Oh.
Which they cannot be happy with.
No.
Now,
this. I mean, we talked about it. This one really wasn't for me, but
yeah, you were more apathetic about this one than I was.
Yeah, I think I just sort of I had. It didn't bring anything new for me to enjoy, so I felt like a little exhausted by like, yeah, I've done this. Like, why am I sitting through this again?
Yeah, and I think people who watched the previous film in 2014 felt like they weren't satisfied with that one. I think the reaction to the sequel is generally a reflection on the what happens with the sequel is a reflection on how the previous one was perceived.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the aftermath, this is not a flop. I think it's okay, right? But it's a disappointment. There's no sugarcoating it. However, I believe they've delayed Kong versus Godzilla now.
Oh, have they really? But it's already in the can. I mean, they've shot it and
yeah. So I guess they're gonna make some kind of tweaks in response to how this one did.
I wonder what.
Well, I guess they're going to bring in Joss Whedon to recut it and add jokes. see how that goes. It's still scheduled for March of next year, but there have been some whispers that they may move stuff around. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope that they continue this MonsterVerse. Me personally, I think these movies are fun.
You know what? That's interesting because the tweaks, like you enjoyed it and you're looking forward to the next one. So the tweaks are obviously designed for me. So
yes.
like what could they possibly do to make me happier. Like I like, why not spend less money and keep entertaining the people who are happy to be there?
So Brian, I can now appreciate to an extent how people who loved Batman versus Superman must have felt watching Justice League.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, because obviously that movie famously, they basically they told Zack Snyder to kick rocks in the middle of production, and they brought in Zack Snyder to joke it up, right?
Yep.
And I read an interview with Snyder's DP who said that he cried when he watched the movie.
I saw that, yeah.
Right? And partly it's because, say what you want about Zack Snyder, his movies look beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And say what you want about Joss Whedon, his movies look like TV.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting you to say that, so I'm a little like, oh, well, how do I feel about that? But,
right. I mean, Joss Whedon scales things a certain way.
I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Right. And my point is, if you're Zack Snyder's DP watching a film that is clearly not Zack Snyder's,
yes,
but has his name on it,
mm-hmm.
I'd be upsetting, I guess. Right.
Yeah. No, I totally get that.
Right. So anyway, Godzilla King of the Monsters. If I were to guess, I think Godzilla vs. Kong comes out, and then that's it. Stick a pin in this MonsterVerse. We're done.
Right.
Now, Rocket Man. Did you see Rocket Man?
No. That, again, on my to catch list.
That is also on my list. So that's directed by Dexter Fletcher,
mm-hmm.
who ghost directed Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right. Brought that home after
right.
Singer.
So they gave him another. Another music biopic. No, I mean, I hear really good things about this.
Me too. It seems pretty positive, but it didn't hit like Bohemian Rhapsody did. I mean, that was a worldwide phenomenon.
That was a phenomenon, but this one made nearly $200 million against a $40 million budget. So everyone should feel happy.
Still a success for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like Bohemian Rhapsody, my problem with that film was it had Dewey Cox syndrome.
It very much did. Yes.
Right. So I'm curious where this one lands.
Mm-hmm.
You know, pretty much. I've said this before. I've said this on the show. I've said this to my students. I'm like, if you watch Walk Hard, it will ruin music biopics for you.
Yes,
it will just there's before Dewey Cox and there's after Dewey Cox.
And I would add to that, worth it.
Totally worth it.
It's a really, really clever, hilarious dissection.
I was just watching it recently, and it's just very funny because they have the recurring thing where Dewey Cox, who's played by John C. Reilly, is trying various drugs.
Yes.
And you have Tim.
You don't want no part of this.
You don't want no part of this, Dewey. It's like, I don't know. It sounds like I kind of do. It's not addictive.
And you know what? The music in that movie, all original, is phenomenal.
Dude, I listen to the song Walk Hard all the time.
Yeah. And then the last one, his Opus.
Yes. Which
it's very important that it feels like an encapsulation of this man's life and journey, and it's like actually pretty beautiful. Like, I mean, it's a really impressive feat.
I think for those of you listening who have not seen it, which just the math says you probably have not seen it, because the movie made like nothing, right?
Right.
It's the genius of that film is that it treats itself like a real film that has jokes in it. So it's not like these all the like disaster
like
movie
date movie and all. Yeah. No, not at all.
It's at all. I mean it's doing this and isn't it like Judd Apatow?
Yeah, he co-wrote it.
Yeah. So it shows a genius level of awareness of exactly how the genre works. Mm-hmm. So you're like, if you have to know the structure in order to poke holes in the structure, right? So
yeah, and it aims to actually tell a story.
Yes,
which it does.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so it's not just like a setup for jokes. Like it is like a joke every minute, but there's also like you said, I mean, it is an interesting, funny story that is very self-aware.
Yes. So Rocket Man, watch Walk Hard. That's what we're saying. Dexter Fletcher, by the way, who directed that, he's doing the next Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey.
Oh, so that's still happening, huh?
That's still happening.
Hey, great.
The last one was like 2011, so they've been sitting on that for a while.
I never saw that one. The second one.
Yeah, you didn't really miss anything, in my opinion. Next up. Oh, here's a movie. Speaking of ones nobody saw, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. I mean, do you think anyone could have predicted the degree to which people would not have showed up for this one?
I had my suspicions.
Yeah.
And partly it's because when your movie has been delayed more than like 3 times,
Right.
there's a red flag, right?
Right.
And I think that by the time Dark Phoenix came out, the Fox purchase by Disney was already finalized, right?
Right.
So everyone knew that this was like, it's like that. It's like an unwanted appendage, It's like a third nipple. You're like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? That's Dark Phoenix. They should put that on the box.
Right.
Because by the time the movie came out, everyone was already anticipating the X-Men reboot.
Yeah. It just felt like, it's sad to see the series end with a whimper.
Yes.
Right. But also it just felt like I didn't go in feeling like there was anything to resolve. Like there was no need for me to watch this movie.
Right.
I just showed up because I watch X-Men movies. And it felt like a lesser X-Men movie.
And there weren't enough of you, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I went to a screening. I didn't pay for it. So.
Yeah, I mean, when you really think about it, right? We got 2 finales for the X-Men films already. We got Days of Future Past,
Which probably should have been the ending.
Probably should have been that, and then Logan.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yes.
Right now, in between those 2 was X-Men Apocalypse, which was like whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then we got this. So to me, I think to a large extent the audience had already moved on because clearly X-Men Apocalypse didn't do much of it. It only did okay. And Logan, the whole hype was, it's the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Dark Phoenix, again, it's just you're making a movie to make a movie.
Yes.
And that's not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the shame of it is, and we talked about this when we talked about the movie, the stuff that I liked, I really liked.
Mm-hmm.
I thought James McAvoy is awesome. I thought Michael Fassbender is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it's an ignominious end,
Yeah.
Now, that being said, hey, I went and watched this with my kids, and my 10-year-old liked Dark Phoenix the best of these movies.
Well, there you go.
So there's that. So my kid is an idiot. That's that's what that means. He has no taste. No, I love you. I love you, son. Also, here's another one, The Secret Life of Pets 2, which I did not watch, but no one else did either.
No, I mean, the first one was kind of a surprise mega hit.
So
right? Worldwide, but this one, I don't even think.
Yeah, it made $875 million worldwide.
Whew.
This one made $422 million.
Yeah, by half. Wow.
And I think that, and by the way, Harrison Ford is one of the voices in this.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I feel like they should have been like way more on Front Street with that,
Yeah.
I just find that fascinating, like a funny animal with Harrison Ford's voice coming out of it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what it was, or well, I know what the personality was, but I mean, I wonder what the animal was.
It's he's a Welsh sheepdog.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what that sounds like. I'm a dog.
Hey, get back here.
Yeah.
Pointing his finger.
So this one, they had to the main character in the first one was voiced by Louis C.K.
Ah, yes.
So they replaced him with Patton Oswalt in the next one. And I think, to me, I haven't seen the first one, I haven't seen the second one. My kids have seen the first one. They're looking forward to seeing this one. But I think the lesson here is that, the unless you are Pixar or a few other like kids franchises, the market's just drying up. I mean, Lego Movie 2 was another flop earlier this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Angry Birds 2 did a similar thing as this one, where a lot of people watched the first one and then nobody watched the second one.
Is that interesting? I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it just works, and I'm not entirely sure why it didn't work for... I mean, when I was saying about the comedies, it feels like there's usually children's movie too, and not even a Disney one necessarily, but there's just some random children's movie that does pretty well because they need it.
Right.
You know, the parents need something to take their kids to, and I'm just surprised that this one, I don't know, didn't hit by such a degree.
Well, speaking of not hitting by such a degree, next up we had Men in Black International.
Yeah, I mean, again, wow. I mean, I've said this is the third time I think I've said this, but I think from the trailers we knew it just wasn't going to be.
Wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
So this is another one. It cost about $100 million. It made $250 million worldwide.
Yeah.
And this was, I mean, for a while there, the first Men in Black was the biggest hit that Columbia ever had.
Wow.
In their history. So it's a steep drop. And again, even as I was watching it, I was like, if this is not about Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, I just don't care.
Yeah, it much like you said with Dark Phoenix, it just felt like they made it because there was no reason to make it. They just made it because they felt like it was joyless, right? I mean, it wasn't like they were excited about some idea and some concept and a new take on this world. It just felt like we own this IP. We got to do this at some point.
You know, so that just came and went. I don't think there's going to be MIB International 2. But speaking of just refreshing an IP for no reason, is the Shaft remake that they did. Not even a remake, it's another sequel.
I had that written down in my notes. I was going to say, hey, Zachy, did you remember a Shaft movie came out this year?
So this is like, this is bizarre, because the previous Shaft movie was in, I think it was 2000.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson, Christian Bale.
Yeah, and it was John Singleton directed it.
Oh, yeah.
The late great. And so they come back 20 years later, like, and this is like, who was asking for this?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, and no one came. That was another one though that I recently read went straight to Netflix around the world.
That's correct.
It's kind of interesting.
And so this is directed by Tim Story, who's had success with like the Barbershop films, and I think he did that Ice Cube thing, right, with Kevin Hart. What is that?
Oh, some cop thing, right?
Yeah, what is it called?
Shoot, I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, right along. Yeah.
And it's written by Kenny Barris, who created Blackish. So you'd think like, oh, there's like some kind of synergy happening here, but just nobody watched it. The reviews were just catastrophic.
Yeah, and I don't feel like I remember seeing much about it, honestly. I mean, it came and went without
it played
even like a...
Yeah, for like a week it played.
Yeah.
So that's another that's just perplexing to me, because it's like it takes more than just an IP, you know. And to prove that point, we have Toy Story 4 the following week, which this one made a few bucks, Brian.
Yeah, did okay.
So, I mean, we've expended plenty of oxygen on this show already, being quite effusive about this one. But it cost $200 million. It made more than $1 billion. Here's my question: you think we'll get another Toy Story at some point down the line?
You know, I would have said no after 3, and here we are talking about 4, and I liked 4.
Yeah.
So never say never. This did feel more like a definitive ending.
Yes.
However, if they have another idea at this point, I feel like I just have to trust them, because this was a movie I thought we didn't need, and I ended up really loving it.
Yeah.
So there was another Annabelle movie, which I'm assuming you have not seen.
No, I don't think... Was it that started with The Conjuring, right?
Yes.
I did see that, and that was where it kind of ended for me. I was like, yeah, all right, I get it.
It's weird to me that the Conjuring verse is the second most successful cinematic universe right now.
Wow. Yeah. And worldwide too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have the numbers, but I think it does well all over the world.
Well, and they don't spend much, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have not seen any of the Annabelles, but I'm assuming they will keep making them. Yesterday, you talked about yesterday, I think in our last episode, the one before that.
Yeah, I know critics were a little hard on it for being slight, and not taking full advantage of its conceit. And I can't disagree with them, but I also did enjoy myself. So, yeah.
Spider-Man: Far From Home, obviously one of the big successes of the summer. Another big $1 billion hit. I mean, unless you're affiliated with Disney in some way, you're not touching $1 billion. It feels like.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't think of it that way. Not only that Disney keeps touching $1 billion, but that no one else is.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, because obviously we're in the midst of the great Spider-Man divorce right now, and
Right.
If this was not a Marvel Studios film, would it have hit $1 billion? I'm going to go ahead and say no.
Yeah, because I think Spider-Man is always going to be popular, but this was connected to a movie that the whole world had just watched.
This was Endgame epilogue.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah,
having it Spider-Man tied into this thing, like we say, this like really expensive television show that everybody is watching. I mean, it includes him, and so it's no surprise that this would make so much money.
Yeah, it is very funny because the head of Sony just gave an interview the other day where he's like, "Yeah, we'll be fine. Spider-Man was fine before, and
Right.
and it's also very interesting because every statement they've made has been very like, Kevin Feige's a busy guy and it's okay, and we love Disney, and so it's clear that they're trying to
Right.
they're not trying
Not
to shut
burn
the
any
door.
bridges.
They're not like Kevin Feige can suck it, right? They're not doing that.
Yeah.
Which I mean, because sometimes studios break bad on each other, right?
Exactly.
They're taking care not to do this. So I think I think the guy even said the door is closed for now.
Mm-hmm.
But if they are relying on Tom Rothman to be like the guy to guide these movies, I just, what do you got in your mind?
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as you got Tom Holland, I think you've got some reserved goodwill. But post that, if they have to start from scratch, I would be a little skeptical.
So we know that a Spider-Man Venom crossover of some kind is like first thing that they want to get out the door.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? That seems like a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
What I read is that Tom Holland actually had a cameo in Venom,
Oh.
the first one, that was nixed by Marvel.
Oh, interesting. Wait. It proposed cameo, or he actually shot one?
Apparently he shot it. He was part of that group of kids at the beginning of the film.
So, I mean, would that be a tick off of his contract for how many movies he has to do for Sony?
I don't believe so, because the way these contracts are structured, they don't include cameos.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like Chris Evans had like a little mini cameo in Thor: The Dark World. I don't know if you remember that. That wouldn't count.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or he when Chris Evans was in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Remember in those videos?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
These
that
PSAs or
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Anyway, so that's a story that is developing. Hey, did you see Midsummer?
No. I've had a couple people tell me they think I would like it, and I wonder why
Yeah.
they think that. It just seems like one of those movies like gets under your skin, keeps you from sleeping sort of movies, and I'm like, I don't know if that's really my bag.
That's
But-
people are telling me, they're like, Zach, you got to see it. It's so disturbing, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm good. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like being disturbed right now.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny that it's being recommended to you and I, who I think most people know don't really like horror that much.
Yes, we are wieners.
Yes,
That's just
we are
how it is.
wieners.
You mentioned Stuber, and that was meant as some counter programming. It didn't do much of anything.
Yeah,
Did you did not see it?
I did not, and it's not even something I feel compelled to check out later. I just feel like,
The shame of it to me is the pairing of Dave Bautista and Kumail Nanjiani, at least on paper, sounds intriguing to me.
Oh, totally.
Right?
Absolutely.
It sounds like
Even
a
the
Midnight
concept.
Run kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it looks so. Oh, man, I don't even know what the word is. There's nothing about it that popped or felt fresh or felt like, I got to see it for this reason, or it just felt very, very familiar and like, okay, yeah, one of those things.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of not feeling fresh and feeling very familiar, we've got the Lion King, which made so much money that kind of disappointed in the viewing audience, if I'm being honest.
Well, it was. I mean, since Avengers didn't come out technically during the summer, this was the number one movie of the summer, which is currently at 523 million domestic, 1.5 billion worldwide. So, I mean, this is a massive.
It is technically Disney's biggest live action, quote unquote, live action movie ever.
Yeah.
That's not just straight Disney, not one of their appendages.
Right.
Now, you said you haven't seen it.
I haven't, and it feels like something, if I'm going to watch it, I should see it in the theater. Just to appreciate the artistry.
Yeah,
So at some point,
I
I don't know, maybe some point I'll get there.
Now, we were talking about, taking the big swing for the big reward. This is a good example, right? $260 million is Wrath of God money.
Right. For budget.
For budget. That's how much they spent on it, right?
Yeah.
But for a movie like this, that's piddly. Because it was not even a gamble.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
right?
Knowing what they would reap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? There was a podcast that I would recommend to people. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but just look up DGA podcast. It's the Directors Guild of America podcast, and they screen whatever movie has just come out, and they get the director, but they have another director interview the director of the film they just watched, and they had Jon Favreau being interviewed about The Lion King by Sam Raimi.
Oh, interesting.
And it's pretty fascinating hearing the process of this movie. I mean, they basically created a VR world that they intended to shoot in, and Favreau was like, I didn't want to make this movie in a computer where it's just like we have a camera floating around and we can do whatever we want. I wanted to go into this world and have grips and people who were in charge of, the plants and lights and my DP. So through like VR goggles, they like went into this world and the DP would be like, no, we need another like 10K light over here. And so they wanted to literally make a movie the old fashioned way in this computer space. I just thought, A, that's amazing. And B, this is probably the only place you're ever going to be able to do that, because who else is going to pay for that?
And I can appreciate the craft and the artistry of it.
Yes.
But in service of what? It's just I can't remember a thing about this movie that's unique to this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the moments that the moments that should have been powerful weren't.
Yeah, I see. I can't speak to it because I haven't seen it, but man, that makes me sad because I mean, I can see the animated movie right now where Scar's holding Mufasa, over that stampede, and it's just that's sad.
And
they couldn't recreate that.
You're picturing that shot from the animated version, right?
Yeah.
And what are you picturing? You're picturing Scar
the expressions,
scowling, and you're picturing the look of fear in Mufasa's face, right?
Yep.
Well, you can't do that in this, right? And so I walk out of this movie and I'm like, well, all this reinforced for me is the art of hand-drawn animation and why it's so important.
Right.
And again, it's this new version. It is beautiful to look at. There is no doubt. The technology is next level, but in service of what?
Yeah, I was wondering that about the Lady and the Tramp movie. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same thing. Exactly.
Yeah, like you just can't get the sort of coquettish glances and the sort of rascally expressions. Even watching the trailer, it looked cuter than I expected. But yeah, I wonder. Yeah, having that missing, what that does.
I do. There are people upset because Lady is voiced by Tessa Thompson. Did you see this?
No.
They're like, they're race bending Lady. You can't make that up.
Well, my answer to that is literally everyone on the planet can apply for a Twitter account. So
I was about to say, I'm so
take
glad.
some of your opinions with a grain of salt.
I had that exact thought. I'm like, I'm so glad that Twitter has given people the opportunity to express their distaste over race bending the voice of an animated dog. This is cultural evolution has brought us to this moment, and I'm just so grateful.
I laugh and weep.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We both liked this one.
Yeah, both, and this was a big hit for Quentin Tarantino. I mean, this was in the top 10 box office of the summer. It's currently at 131 million, which I think is...
Is it his biggest hit?
I think it may be.
It is his biggest hit. I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
No, well, not yet. No, Django.
Oh, Django. Where's Django at?
Django is 162.
Oh, okay. So we're 30 off. Oh, so that might stay.
Yeah, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is winding down. So
yeah, I could see it getting up to like maybe 140 or something. But
I'm actually surprised that Django is number one. I didn't expect that, to be honest.
Yeah, but yeah, no, we both enjoyed this movie. I'm happy it was I'm happy it was a hit for many reasons. But one, because I enjoyed it, but two, because I mean, is this the only thing? I'm looking at the top 10 box office of the summer. This is the only thing that wasn't a sequel and was an original idea.
Correct.
So that's yay. You know?
Yeah, I mean, again, but this is what we said during our discussion about the film, right? Tarantino is the franchise.
That is true. That is true. He is a brand.
So it was sold on his brand, and it performed. It performed. You know, I'm looking at his last few films, right, from Inglourious on, and it's interesting to me that Hateful Eight really didn't break out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was just... It was long. That was a long movie.
I think it kept people away. Because Hateful Eight cost $44 million, it made $54 million, so that's not...
Oh, wow.
Well, domestically. Worldwide, it did $155.
Oh.
But still, that domestic number is striking to me.
You know, it's interesting also... Well, yeah, because it's such a disproportionate...
Yeah.
By like $100 million.
Yeah.
But with Hateful Eight, I guess he went to Netflix and added more scenes and split it up into a 4-part miniseries.
Yes.
Which I think is interesting. And
he's doing that with that. Yeah.
Brad Pitt let it slip that it looks like they're toying with the idea of doing that with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Hey, go for it.
I'd be into that.
I'd totally watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, I am looking forward to... You said you've seen this twice now, right?
I've seen it twice, yeah, and I enjoyed it both times.
I'm looking forward to watching it again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you know, my wife is not particularly a Tarantino person, but I was like, yeah, I think you'd like this one. I think she would.
Yeah.
We'll see, though. Like, when she gets to the end and just the brutal...
okay, we can go now.
Yeah. So Good Boys is a movie that was sort of tipped to be the next kind of Superbad. Mm-hmm. And just, again, story of the summer. It got good reviews, but it didn't really break out.
You know, I was a little surprised, actually, because Booksmart, I think, ended up with about 24 million, and people were kind of disappointed with that. But Good Boys is currently at 70 million.
That's actually a lot.
Yeah, I mean, for what it is, for sure. I mean, starring a bunch of junior high kids.
Yeah.
You know, an R-rated movie. Like, you kind of wonder who it's for. You know, if you were to pitch this, like, who would you say this is for?
Yes.
And, because, like, when you get into high school age with Superbad, you can sort of, like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And junior high just seems like a tougher sell. But, yeah, it's hanging in there.
It's actually,
I mean, I was saying earlier that comedies didn't really do well, but I guess at the end of the summer, Good Boys was this little sleeper that could.
You spend $20 million and you're hitting almost $80 million worldwide. That's you got. Yeah, I guess you file that in the win column.
Yeah, but I haven't checked it out yet.
Nor have I.
Yeah.
Another one I actually had planned to check out and did not. Actually, well, before we even talk about that, Hobbs and Shaw I wanted to mention.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Skipped right past that. That came out. Moving on.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I guess we spoke.
It's made a lot of money. It's been a big hit.
Yeah, but probably not what they expected. I mean, it's domestic. It's only 159 million. And Fast and Furious, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm sure those are minimum 200.
Yes.
You know, so I'm sure they were a little surprised that it didn't catch like they probably anticipated. But I didn't hear a lot of people talking about it or seeing it.
You're not seeing that.
No, I haven't talked about it with anybody.
Yes, I think it's... Yeah, no, I agree with that. I
wouldn't recommend it.
So. Nor would I, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's my question. Is Universal looking at this as the next Fast and Furious or as the start of a new franchise?
I would imagine the start of a new franchise.
Yeah. So then, if that's the case, making almost $700 million, how do you call that anything but a good thing,
Yeah, worldwide. Yeah.
right?
Oh, for sure. And I would hope that they take their lessons from this and
Yeah.
let them have a few flaws in the next movie and try to
Right.
make something actually exciking.
Yeah. No, your penis is small. No, your penis is small. No, it's just 2 hours of that. That's the deleted
Yeah,
scene.
exactly.
It's just.
I know. Can you imagine the director's cut of this thing?
Yeah, I was thinking like, man, there's gonna be all these deleted scenes of just them trying to one up each other, you know.
I know.
And I mean that to me is really interesting because that notion that your hero can't be like the veneer can't be scuffed, you know. Like that's a new thing. Like I you know that's what makes our heroes interesting is when they screw up and when they, you know.
Yeah, it makes me think of Predator. You know, I ain't got time to bleed, but
Right.
bleed they did. You know, and that's what made that movie compelling because I was like, oh, this thing might be stronger than them. And so
Right.
that's what's so compelling of the third act of that movie is the ingenuity of how to defeat this seemingly undefeatable thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope they learn their lessons here and make a more compelling movie.
Yeah, I agree. I did want to very quickly mention Dora and the Lost City of Gold and just recommend
Yeah.
that again. You know, it's another sort of casualty. It just did okay.
That's too bad. I was kind of rooting for that movie.
Yeah, I think that will be like a Netflix type of
Totally,
thing, you know?
totally.
It cost $50 million. It's made 77 worldwide.
Yeah,
Which I mean that's if you're Paramount, that's disappointing.
sure.
And then I figured what we can end on is Angel Has Fallen.
Yeah, which I had totally forgotten that. Actually, wait, I have to mention, Where'd You Go, Bernadette, the Richard Linklater movie?
Which it's very apt because where'd it go? It's already gone.
Yeah, I don't even think it entered the top 10, did it?
No,
It's
it
it's
That's-
opening week.
That's again counter programming is just not a thing anymore.
Yeah, but I the only reason I want to mention it because my friend Chad, well, our mutual friend Chad, he always called it Where the Hell is Bernadette?
Which might have been a better
I
title.
don't know why, it just made me laugh every time. That movie, Where the Hell's Bernadette?
Yeah, well, and Richard Linklater, but
Yeah.
uncharacteristically bad reviews for a Linklater movie.
Yeah, and then just announced, right, that he's going to make a movie over the next 20
I
years,
saw
much like he
that.
did Boyhood. I think
I
Boyhood
saw-
was like 11 or 12 years, but he's like, no, 20
I'm
years!
gonna one up it.
Yeah,
Which man, that's a commitment right there.
I know. There's a lot of risk involved in that, you know, just with, I don't know,
Well, and
life.
I mean, like Boyhood, they didn't announce it, you know, until it was done.
Yes.
With this,
Yes, right.
like that to me is what's noticeable about this. It's like, hey, here's what we're doing. It's like, oh man, don't jinx it, you know.
Yeah. But
All right,
okay,
anyway,
sorry. Angel Has Fallen. Gerard
Angel-
Butler. Yes.
Yeah. So this is the third leg of the trilogy, the Fallen trilogy. Which, you know, I'm just glad I've lived long enough to see the day where we got not one but two sequels to Olympus Has Fallen. I feel like, you know, my life is more meaningful knowing that exists.
You know what's funny though is it like just came out and it's already made $76 million.
Well, there is an audience for these movies, and the thing is that it cost $40 million.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and that's what you spend on a movie like this, right?
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Like I sit here like a smug piece of crap, and I sort of, you know, like jest at these Gerard Butler movies. But then they do okay. And then I think I've mentioned this, but I watched Geostorm on HBO sort of as a lark with my brother one night.
Uh-huh.
And when it was over, we were like, "Yo, Geostorm!" Like, that was really fun. So I mean, you know, they're like kind of these. I think they know what they are.
Sure.
They're like a little sillier and a little. I don't know. Yeah, good for him. I'm kind of happy for him.
The second film in this trilogy was London Has Fallen, and that was egregiously offensive to me for the really broad stereotypes of Muslim people. You know.
Oh, I remember this. Yes.
I mean, it was like a MAGA commercial. You know.
Really? Oh,
Right.
well, all right.
'Cause
maybe,
at one point-
maybe I retract what I said.
No. I mean, well, I don't know if that's the case in this one. I haven't watched it, but I just remember Gerard Butler like beating the hell out of some brown guy, And he's like, go back to Afghanistan.
Oh, I remember that. Oh, ugh.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right.
I slink back into my shadow. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't say that Gerard Butler's cool.
So I actually I had purchased a ticket to go see this, just for so that I could talk about it on the show, and I just never got around to it. But
Yeah.
hey, that's okay because other people have seen it, so it's getting its money.
Yeah.
And there ended the summer, Brian.
But there's a lot to look forward to. I wrote down some of the things I was looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Lucy in the Sky. I'm looking forward to Jojo Rabbit, Ad Astra, The Irishman, Ford versus Ferrari. We got the Terminator movie. We got Rise of Skywalker. We got a lot to look forward to.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that wraps up our summer movie season in review. Again, as promised, it was fun for us. I hope it was fun for everybody who listened. So thank you, everybody, for listening, and please keep those questions, comments, and all your feedback coming. You can email us at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. Brian, what do you have going on? Anything worth promoting?
Puppy Dog Pals still... I was going to try to come up with some puppy metaphor. I don't know what is going on with my brain this morning. I was like, still chasing the ball around the yard. I don't know. Anyway, Puppy Dog Pals on Disney and Disney Junior.
And as for me, you can find me at my website, ZackysCorner.com. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my Twitter. That's also my Instagram. You can also see some of my writing at the San Francisco Chronicle. I just dropped a 35th anniversary remembrance of Miami Vice, the TV series, which it impacts me to this very day. I still dress in pastels with rumpled sports coats, loafers with no socks.
Right. Well, I read it, and it was great.
Oh, thank you.
And I've actually never seen the show, so it made me want to at least check it out to
Really?
see.
Well, I if you check it out, I'd be very curious what you think.
Yeah.
Also, I have a piece coming up looking back at the cultural and societal impact of the Rambo films in the 1980s. So that's also going to be at the San Francisco Chronicle. So I got some fun stuff coming there.
Very cool.
As for us, we'll be back soon with our commentary track. Speaking of Rambo, for First Blood.
Yeah.
The very first Rambo movie, which we'll take a look back right before we watch Last Blood. Seems appropriate.
Yeah. Perfect.
I just want to say, by the way, back in 2003 or 2002, in fact, it would have been like 2001, 2002, I remember thinking at the time, I was like, they should make another Rambo movie and they should call it Last Blood.
We're giving away too many good ideas.
I'm not going to say I'm the only person who had that thought, but
Sure.
I was ahead of the curve.
But you had it.
Yeah, back in 2002, 2003, not many people were asking for another Rambo movie, much less two more. So,
Right.
but that's a fun commentary. I'm looking forward to doing that. And as always, please everybody hit subscribe, spread the word, and we will be back soon with our next episode. Thanks.
Welcome, friends. It's the Movie Film Podcast. Movie Film Podcast. Enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about movies. Movie Film Podcast on the radio.